Welcome back to Blast Guys Reviews. In this review, we are going to be taking a look at the new G.I. Joe classified sci-fi action figure. This is a packaging. It comes in traditional black boxes. The G.I. Joe classified series logo there at the bottom. Here's the back of the box. It looks pretty nice. If you're keeping track, this is 177 in line. You can get a nice dynamic look at that new blast effect. I think it looks pretty cool. Looks like it's two pieces. We'll be checking it out in this video. And if you can track, this is 177. Here's the stats QR code on the side of the box. And here's the other side of the box. You can see that it has the alternate visor. There's two visor options. We'll be taking a look at that in this video. Nice artwork. I'm loving it. Very cool. And there's UPC to help you at all. Alright, so here's Sci-Fi out of the packaging. He looks very good. This is unmasked head sculpt. Looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the figure overall. Very nice head sculpt. Got a kind of like a fade there on the side. All combed back in black. More of a grayish, like a maybe a flutter black at the fade. Just a basic face expression. The armor looks pretty good, pretty spot on. I think if they would have painted these black, more of a is that like a gunmetal maybe, over just like silver, it's probably more attractive. Kind of like on the top here. These pads here are black. These should be just maybe black also. It's giving more of a retro feel, but I guess they went with a classified look. Looks pretty good. We have the green jumpsuit with the black kind of interior here under the arms and between the legs. See there, nice belt. The back does have a pig hole for his backpack. Pretty cool. You can see the textures in the pants and the wrinkles in the clothing. Very nicely sculpted. Very nice. I do like this very much. One of the characters I've been looking forward to. On the lower body, on the thighs, we do have some pads or some type of devices inside. Some silver, like maybe ports there. Maybe connect to his suit. He does have very sci-fi knee pads and shin guards down to the ankle. Nicely sculpted. Some colors there to break it all up. If it was just silver, it'd look like a bunch of plastic, but they did a great job with the accents here and on the back of the back of the leg guard there. Looks pretty good. Then he has black boots underneath. Very cool. Very nice looking figure overall. Now, Sci-Fi has a standard classified articulation. Heads go up and down, side to side, and all the way around. With the shoulder pads, let the arms get just above a T-pose. It's very good. The joints are being pretty fluent on my copy. We have the bicep swivel here, 360, a double jointed elbow, and this hand will go around 360. And I believe this is an in and out hand. And then this one is since the guard is hiding it, I really can't tell. It kind of hinders a little bit of the wrist articulation there. Yes, have the chest or abdomen crunch a little bit, not a lot. Then we have the waist swivel here at the ball in 360, a little stiff, but you can go back and forth. Down at the lower level, the legs at the crotch area can sit pretty well on a 90-degree angle. Pretty nice. He can get a martial arts split if that's something you want Sci-Fi to do. A drop down hips to just kind of just pop out whenever you do that position. And then also kind of like a sideway. Definitely very nice, every articulation at the legs for would be nice to have for all the ninjas. Sometimes we don't get it. We have a thigh swivel here. 360. We have double jointed knees. Get you a nice range of motion. Very cool. The bottom there, the ankles, we do have the swivel around the ball. It does go down and up, and then side to side and around. Looks pretty cool. Every time I look at this belt, it looks like there's two holes there, but it's actually just two pieces of square black paint. But it definitely looks like two ports there when you first look at it, and I can't stop seeing it now once I've seen it. So that's kind of crazy. Let's go ahead and take a look at Sci-Fi's actual accessories. Alright, so let's start with his helmet. The green on top, silver around the front and side and back, and then we have a strap across the top, all open. And as to see how well it fits without the visors. Once a snag up on the ears is a very snug fit. And then that's kind of how that looks without the visor, if that's something you would want to display your figure with no visor. Pretty cool. Now, visor options is a full visor mask. It has some silver paint there on the pegs and a little black. It looks like a camera or some type of device, if you can see that. And that just pegs into the mask. I'm assuming like this. Uh-oh. There, kind of like that. I'm betting that's probably made this way, so it's probably easier to put that on. Yep. Once you have the mask on, because it's going to keep popping off, because this is a very snug fit. It likes to snag the ears, and it looks apparently the nose also. So you see these two little bevels here. You just want to pop this into the mask, so you don't have to take the helmet off to get that alternate look. That looks pretty good from the side. And then let's see how well this is easy to take off. Oh, that's pretty simple there. And then for me, the reason I started with the full mask is I'm going to go with the more traditional mask, which is the half visor. It has the same aesthetic as you can see there, and just simply put it into those little slots, and it stays quite well. If you can find out which one is the top, which one is the bottom. Oops. And I think maybe this way might be the way. Nope. If I would have dropped it, I maybe would have been able to tell which way I had it the first time. It looks to be a little gappy there with this one. And let me see if that's the right way. Okay, yeah, I had it upside down. It's hard to see through the camera sometimes, but so if you start seeing little gaps up in the corner, you know you have the wrong upside down. So there he is, more traditional sci-fi. I think it looks fantastic. I love that. Very cool. Alright, Sci-Fi's backpack, nicely shaped. Kind of gives you an idea of the vintage. There's the silver vents and a port there for the hose that comes with it. Very cool. And it just pegs onto the back. And that's how that looks. That looks fantastic. The silver really makes this pop. It doesn't give it that big old piece of plastic feel. Good job, Hasbro. Now it comes with this very nice flexible hose. You can see I can pretty much fold this thing in half without any plastic wear. It's very ribbed, and it has the connectors on the end painted in silver. That looks fantastic. Which just port to the back here. Are they both sides the same? I believe so. And it's very soft, so that's going to be a problem. Getting that to fit in there. But if you wiggle around a little bit, you can get it. So that's pretty good. Now we have Sci-Fi's laser rifle. It looks fantastic. Nice sculpt. Very stiff. Maybe a little flexibility, but very stiff. Better than what we've been getting. So it's great silver there on the top. I love that scope. Then obviously you just connect the hose here on the bottom like that. And there you see with a very flexible hose you can put in his hand very nicely. It actually, the fingers are very flexible. They're not really hard. I think they're actually very nicely toleranced. I think the stock maybe should have been a little bit longer to fit up against his arm. But that's okay. And then you can definitely put that rifle anywhere you want because of the flexibility of that beautiful hose. I like the material they use for that. That's fantastic. Very, very cool looking figure overall. Now for the blast effect, you do get that ball piece. That looks cool. And then you get the peg that goes into the gun. And then you get the alternate piece here. You might be able to use this as two different pieces. And then you can just simply insert that into this. It gives it that initial charge and then the release, which is fantastic looking. This is like a clear translucent blue, and it gets really dark up here. So it goes from like almost like transparent, like clear into like the bluish. If you can tell that on the camera or not, I thought that was pretty cool. And then ultimately, you just stick that in front of his gun, like so. That gives you that very nice. I really appreciate this blast effect. This is very cool. That looks fantastic. That looks amazing. And then if you want, you can just do the initial charge up. But if you're not feeling the charge up, you just want to have a laser rifle without that big ball on it, you can also put it inside without using this piece, but this is really cool. So you have options, and options is always great in our G.I. Joe classified line. Some of my final thoughts on this: I love this figure. I think it's fantastic. It gives you some nice modern updates. I like that blast effect. The weapons are very nice. The hands are soft and beautiful sculpt. It looks like a sci-fi traditionally, but with a little bit of classified appeal. Looks great. Loving the hose. If I had to pick anything, like I said, maybe the bars on his chest should have been painted black. Give it that more classic look. Maybe just stock on the laser rifle could have been just a bit longer. But other than that, I think they did a great job on the figure, especially with the helmet. I was worried about how those visors are going to fit, and they did a great job. Just remember to put on your helmet first, and then you can take your visor in and off however you want to display it. Looks fantastic. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in our next review.